Oh, where did it all begin? Well, I lost a piece of paper already. That's the way it goes. I don't think it's a big exciting piece of paper. If I was going to lose one, I'd rather have lost the one that I just lost. It's under the car. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you what it was. I've learned a lot over the past few days. One was that the run-on issue that I've had with some of these cars that I've assumed to be gasoline, and it probably is to a certain degree. The other is it's the alternators that I put on. I was told a very long time ago by a fella that all you need to do, and this car are my main two corporates that I'll be dealing with today. This car has a Honda alternator in it, and so I believe I've beat this puppy to death here. So I'm not going to go on with much more about this one. That's a Nippon-Dindo, and I've got it wired and everything's working. And something that I noticed with this car was once I got the alternator wired correctly, it mysteriously shut off better. The motor shut off better. And I think I know why that is now, because these things can backfeed into your ignition system and keep your coil a little bit hot and keep it running on. So this car's done. I'm not worried about this car here. Done that enough time with one hand to where I think I can swing it. So not worried about that. This one takes two hands to open. So just bear with me a second. And I'll tell you what I have learned. It has safety catches on two sides. And then you have to do this right here and then that. Okay, so I know these aren't daily drivers. That's not the point. You see all that mess right there? That relay and all that plumbing? I did that to stop the running on. I went to the oil pressure switch. I put a relay. I did everything I could to, oops, that ain't good there. And I'm going to be messing with this a little bit anyway. And I have this basic Delco alternator. It's the same alternator that's in the Spitfire. And it had these little plugs over the 1 and 2 wires. There they are, identical. And I just was told years ago by a really nice man who knows a lot about car restoration that all you need is one wire. And that may be true. I mean, that may be true in a lot of cases. So I did that, and I put this voltmeter in here so I could make sure it was charging. Well, it might be charging just a little too good. So I think I'm going to take that voltmeter out of here, and here are your two connectors, 1 and 2. I think it's 1 and 2. I think the one's closest over there. One's kind of gotten crusty, hadn't it? Yeah, that's 1 and that's 2. And the 2 wire, which was a diagram I just lost, you can run it directly from there to this battery terminal here. We'll go ahead and take that off, and that will help you regulate things, see? And that'll save your alternator and your battery. So I don't really understand, because those look to be bridge. See, there's a bridge between them, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if that... Now the Spitfire's a horse of a different color, because she is just going to be painful to get to. But I gotta tell you, you do kind of get used to these things coming up like that. Okay, that locked in nicely. A lot of you dudes, man, you'll get those things that those gas shocks. Good for you. That one's just the devil to get to. So you got to pull that spark plug. Now this spark plug wire was actually arcing. That's why I have that insulator there. It was actually arcing against the alternator at one point. and I can't see in there too well, so I probably will just drop this alternator down. It'll take a minute and just make sure there's no bridge in there. And if there is, I believe you need to take them out, but I'm not real sure of that at this point. Don't know why you wouldn't. So that might be causing running on issues. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And I never really knew what this was right here. I don't know if that's an earthing thing or whatever, but you can earth it right here. And I'm going to show you whatever I do here. Because I gotta find my diodes too. It's one of the reasons you saw both meters over there. I love my Fluke, but it doesn't check diodes. I don't need it to because I have this old Greenlee, or Green, whatever it's called. Greenlee, yeah. And she checks diodes right there. There's your diode symbol right there. So she'll check those. I've got some somewhere, I think. I'll have to see if I can find them. Got spider webs all over me. So here's what we're going for today. I don't know how many there are of these basically somewhat incomplete diagrams. It depends on what you're doing. Ford and Chevy, and Chrysler, they all do things a little differently, but it all ends up being the same thing. So here's your alternator. I didn't write alternator on there, but it's fairly obvious that's the alternator. There's your battery. There's a dash lamp, which I may use an LED because LEDs, of course, are light emitting diodes. So this might serve two purposes here because I don't know if these run current both ways. Plug and play, it doesn't really tell you. In the old days, they had to be polarized. You had to run the right way they would run. I think these run either way. So I got to dig over here and see if I'm going to be able to find some diodes. We'll do that off CamBot here. And I know they're around here somewhere. I'll look and see. The other thing for today is this whole barn. See all that wiring up there? I did all that myself. And the reason I did it is in case I ever wanted to expand. Okay, I want to expand. I got everything in here to do some expansion. Because the only stuff I have, when did wire get so expensive? All that for like 35 bones. I couldn't believe it. These are $1 or $2. If you're gonna buy outlets, just spend the $2, literally less than $2 to get the good kind. These are 20 amp, and you can tell because of these things. And always put your earths up. I don't care who says what to you. That's just a nice mechanism for protection. So there you go. I don't even know if I've got any face plates. Don't care. This is a shop. If you get hurt in here, you know, sorry. That's the way it goes. So the reason that I'm mentioning all this is because I left a little slack in everything. Oh, it sounded like Christopher. I want to leave some slack. So anyway, I'm probably going to tap into, well, right there. I can tap into right there because it's already been tapped into. And that's going over to the other lamp. And I'm going to put me an outlet somewhere around here for convenience. I want to put one on all 4 posts. So the plan is to put one about here, a little high up. I've got them along the wall. It's too far away. If I probably won't change the way I've got that big heavy wire is going to the call them wildfire lift here, and so I probably won't mess with that circuitry. So let's see what's over here. So I want to put more convenient outlets, and I don't want them to where they're going to get hit. I want them up here. I would consider them to be somewhat armored, and you won't hit your head on them, or I won't. Anyway, I'm not a short fellow, but anyway, there's another place I can just tap right into and just run outlets here. Of course, the outlets will only work with the fluorescent lights on, but I may change those out to LED one of these days. But I'm not in here at night very much. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I'm just not in here at night very much. So the only time those outlets would be on would be if the lights are on, which is fine with me. I also have a very old habit of never, ever running battery charges all night long. I don't do that. I don't do the battery tender thing and all that other stuff. The only thing I leave running here at night is that clock you see right there in my refrigerator. And that's it. That's all that runs at night when I leave the building. So let's see what we're going to do here today. Wasn't that interesting? What a wonderful walkthrough, eh? 10 minutes of just bliss. The other thing I wanted to mention is this alternator on the bottom. It's got connectors going to something. I don't know what they're doing, and so I'm going to make them happen. I'm going to make something else happen with that. I don't exactly know what's going on there anymore. I never really did. It once had the proper plug. It's over in a box somewhere and it's rotten. So I'm going to rewire this thing to make sure that it is correct. Now, this is the same alternator as the Healy and the Spitfire, and so I just want to make sure that we do this right. Let's see. Let's see if I can find those diodes. It will soon be the autumnal equinox, and I will be able to do more. I do happen to have a fresh batch of Zener diodes, 12 volt. I think I got enough to swing it for my purposes. And I'm not going to tell you how to check a diode. If you know how to do that, you know how to do that. Here's something you don't see every day, Chauncey. I bet these have been outlawed a long time. That is a mercury switch. See it moving around in there? There you go. Those are used in old thermostats in houses. It was on a bimetal coil, and it would either turn your heat on when it got cold, or your air conditioning on, or when it got warm. And I've kept these over the years. Probably came out of some, there's a oil pressure. That was the days of working on the Healy, trying to get it to stop running on, and now I might, after several years, I may find out it's the alternator that caused it. I always keep a couple of, this is a nice little Spark Fun kit of resistors. Never can tell when you're going to need a resistor. Fare thee well, said the old folks. And then there's there's a more simple, come on, focus. Oh, let's get over here. But you can, there you go. That's a mercury switch all day long. That saved me in the Bonneville, because for years she had a dead short or parasitic draw I couldn't find. And I found out when I took the interior out of it that it was the trunk light stayed on. The boot lamp was on, and I didn't know it. Sometimes those things happen. Those were the days where there weren't a lot of internet help people out there. And I put one of these mercury switches in there and an LED light, and never had another dead draw on it. But now it's wired so differently it doesn't really matter. There's a door switch or whatever it is. That's generally a door switch. These things are self-aligning. They're kind of cool. So I'm putting things together here. Let's keep this handy. I got to tell you too, I am waiting. I've been waiting. I guess that's just the way it's going to be from now on with these old things. I'll be waiting months for the TR4. There she is through all the woodwork. Rear stabilizer bar. These are the little bushings that go in that. So I guess I'm just going to be waiting. So I got, I don't know if I'm going to put a light in this one or not. As we remember, this car does not have an alternator light. It has a amp meter way over there on the far left side of the dashboard. I put a voltmeter in here, so I'm going to just stick with that. There's the voltmeter right there. And so what I'll probably do, just kind of for fun, is I will probably just put a light out here. I don't mind putting stuff under the bonnet. I don't drive them enough to get them too greasy dirty. So I might just do that. And so anyway, I don't know what source I'm going to use for ignition switch, but I'll probably use the coil connection, which would be the positive side, and just run some kind of lamp, and looks like there's some fun soldering, and run that diode, because if this diode trickles back in, it'll keep feeding your ignition system, and your car runs on after you turn it off. I didn't know that until today. I will confess that I didn't know that. So, and this reminds me, I might have mentioned it about the Jaguar. It's just sort of a gentle kind of my kind of day thing. She just wants all power. There's no reason to. If you put a ballast resistor on this car, she don't like it. She wants everything she can get. She wants all the 110 racing fuel. See, there's a ballast resistor right there, and I'm just not going to use it. I'm just going to bypass it. Because I hooked it up, I got her running. Yes, she cranks right up if you don't use the ballast resistor, and runs great. And she sort of struggles to start. And now this car came with an alternator from the factory in 1967. So I'm not going to be able to mess with her much, but she shuts right off. And she has the external control box and everything. So there's the original look. I got another one upstairs that's they didn't seem to want for a core. Kind of makes you scared, doesn't it? They don't want them for a core. And so she just gets full beans, burn your points up, carry some with you. That's all I can tell you. And I had the biggest time yesterday. I took all my vintage equipment here, and yeah, you bust these on the floor, and that's not good. You got to kind of keep those contained. So it's amazing what a journey it can be. So I went through the junk in my ignition system stuff. This is for Lucas 45Ds, stuff like that. That's actually for the Delco. That car came with AC Delco from factory. And there's that. I don't know if I'm going to use that in there anymore. And I just keep extra parts. The other thing you need to know if you got a mixture of British cars is sometimes you have these stubby rotors. Sometimes you have the ones that are a little longer. It tends to be that Jaguars and Healeys use these ones that are a little bit longer. And so there's all the stuff. Save your old condensers. There's a bunch of points in there. Here's the hardware. You might be surprised how important it is to keep all these little bits of hardware. I can tell some of this stuff is for electronic ignition. There's the kind that stake in your wires up in your distributor cap. But all these little tiny threads, they can be very odd. So hold on to all your hardware like that. And there you go. These were incorrect from Rock Auto, but I'm keeping them. They're 90 degrees off. But okay, let's actually do something. Oh, I don't know. I guess the thing to do with these days is just show what's going on. So here is a Zener diode, and it goes in with the silver stripe toward the alternator, and then there's that. And so you would want to grab hold of it that way, and then check your meter, and then this way, and you will see you get nothing. See, you get that. So this shows you that current only will be going. When you touch it, you get current. So the current will be going toward the alternator and not out of it. So that's what you want. This will be the positive side. So the positive side is the dark side on this particular circuit. So I think I'm going to mock up some stuff and see. But I wanted to, the reason that I wanted to mention diodes in this episode, and you can see they're marked, the white, red thing. A lot of guys say you don't need this. And in my circumstance, I would say that might be the best reason to do it. Because that's just better. So you want to go into this to excite the alternator, to keep the magnetism going on the rotor in the middle and all that stuff. And although it has worked for a number of years, I got a feeling I'm chewing up my batteries and taking life off the alternators by not wiring them correctly. So be sure and turn your meter off, and then we'll do that. So I'm going to do some, you might not believe this, but I believe it's time to take the Jaguar out and drive it around. I'm going to go lightly into this. There is a nagging leak in the Jaguar, and I believe it to be coolant, and I've had enough. It's time to pull out the big guns here. It's the tinted UVs. Tinted UV time. And there is also a little naggy oil leak too. So this is, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here in the coolant and in the oil. Doesn't harm anything. And then we're going to finally locate those problems. I don't think it's the otter switch. I don't know what it is. But the front of this motor has always been a little wet. Off the front oil pan bolts, they've always had a little drop on them. So let's see if we can sort that out. The best thing to do if you got your motorcycle stuff on is to not work around your cars with a big metal chain hanging off of you. So take that off. I'll mention this too. I can't stand wallets like that. This is my wallet, and I make them out of duct tape. And I know how to put snaps on. Grew up on water, and I got British cars. You better know how to do snaps. It's easy. Can't be easier. So I made that. It's very thin. It's just one thing. Make your own wallets. Sheesh. They got all those fancy wallets that do all this other stuff. Oh, give me a break. Any girl that sees you in the checkout line with your homemade duct tape wallet, is going to sweep them off their feet. Just trust me on that. Especially the overalls get them too. Especially when they're weaponized. So the theory here is that we are going to get in this car and start it and drive it. I know that's something to really consider. And I'm going to clean her up, don't worry. It's not the point right now. So, well, let's just see how it goes. Oh, I got to latch the bonnet. Let's go do that. This is a later F1, so the bonnet latches are internal. The earlier ones there. Right there. I'm going to have to fix that body work one of these days. I don't care so much about body work. Let's see if she'll latch down. Yeah, okay. Gotta twist it over. Oh, I keep expecting Sean to come with the proper wood for fixing that trailer out there. And then the way these bonnet latches work is you slide them in and twist them, and that locks them into place. Okay. So, let's see. Don't need that Cotswold blue anymore down there in that can. I'm going to keep it because I've never in my life had any paint that matched as close as that did. Alright, let's just, don't think I'm going to want any music. Let's see how many Ricky Tickies we get. I hear it actually leaking. Okay, well, this is where you dislatch everything. You know, those needles and seats are like 15 or 20 bucks each now. Yeah, I hear it. This is just, I'm not going to edit this. This is just every day it's happening. See it happening down there? Okay, well, let's see. Now the rear one was the one that I had the least amount of trouble with, and now it seems I have the most amount of trouble with it. Let's see. Did it go into the pan? I don't think so. This is where you get your Furniture on the Mend official tappy tap. You know, always gotta like it when you hopefully can fix a carburetor with a hammer. That is not an unusual event, actually, for a needle and seat to foul you up like that. Let's see if it quits ticking. Yeah, it did. Okay. All right, so that did it. Oh, okay. Does it always have to be something? And the answer to that question is yes, thank God. It does always have to be something. I'm gonna give her, I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous about all this. She hasn't run in a long time. She did make it up here. I mean, you know, that was 25 miles. So I'm gonna probably go around the circle. All right, let's see if she's still ticking. Nope, out of gear. I tell you the truth, it's just easier to drive this car without those on. If now, I've done this in anticipation that she's going to start. Okay, I think there's enough fuel in it to go 5 miles. There you go. I mean, that used to never happen. So we're gonna let her, there goes her pressure. Well, gas kind of makes you nervous. I did put about 4 gallons in it. I think I'll put the rest of it in there before I go. That gas is just for this car. Look at that, I'm not even coming up on the gauge at all. That don't make for a happy test drive. Let's put some more gas in her. Let's get some gas. I put 2 gallons in her. The needle moved a little bit, but watch this. You can see the fuel light coming on and off. Blinking at me. Let's get this red light off. And that's just your brake handle there. So we got plenty of pressure. We're warming up well. The needle has moved a little bit. She's got 2 gallons in her, so she ought to be fine. We're showing, what, 5:20 on the clock. It's really 2:15. Now, I'm going to show you something pretty interesting here in a second. I mentioned this the other day. Now, you will notice that these are the original Jaguar safety latches here with the original weaving, and I have another set of these actually, and but these are original safety belts. You'll hear it go clickety-tickety here in a second. There you go. Let's see where we are. Now this car is so, look at her holding right at 1,000. I did turn the idle up a little bit, guys. So much easier to drive barefooted with this thing. All right, here we go. Clutch isn't frozen. It looks like the wheel chocks are removed. Oh, here we go. Oh, that was a good noise. The old dusty Jaguar. I can hardly see out of the dumb thing. Oh, I don't have a cloth in here, do I? Well, I sure ain't turning the wipers on. Well, that'll get me down the road. And ooh, it's just so, I've been doing woodworking too, so. All right, that's good enough for me to do a little test drive. So, let's make sure the brakes are, oh, close the door. That's a good idea. It's one of my better ideas today. Okay. Well, I didn't leave a streak of anything. Let me make sure I didn't leave a streak of gas or oil or coolant. I gotta get her up to operating temperature. Nope, there's no streaks there. Just some stuff I blew out when I cranked her the other day. Ooh, nervy. Well, she's changing gears. She's a little lopey, and I know why that is. She's just dying to get going. Yeah, the fuel gauge has moved up a little bit, and it takes a while for that one to react. It's got the original. Ooh, big truck coming. I'm gonna have to put you down for a second. It's got the original voltage stabilizer in it. I will tell you now, the electronic ones I don't really care for. Okay, I'm gonna have to put you down. Oh, brakes. Oh, I remember that about the brakes. There they go. You got to get them past that sticky spot. They kind of... Okay, this is the first time she's been on the road in a long time. All right, I checked the air pressure the other day in the tires. Oh, kind of not used to the clutch yet. Okay, there's third gear. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing the dumb song. And there we go, we're fourth gear. And there's the beautiful bonnet of the dusty old Jaguar. Nobody's behind me. Got a really high oil pressure. We're charging pretty good. How do you feel about it? Should I make the big loop? I don't know. Let's make the big loop. Let's go for it. Now something just flew in my eye. So I got one hand on the wheel. I got one functioning eyeball now. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay, I think Oh, don't pull out in front of me, pal. There you go. Well, I don't think I need to mess with the timing or anything. She is digging this 110 stuff. Now, it used to be I got about here and she started to stumble, and that was because of ethanol gas. And I went to electronic ignition and that didn't help. Nothing helped. What helps is running the right fuel in it. Alright, here we go. Oh, yeah, she's steering and driving and... Wow. She's sleeping like a cat here. Alright. I can't believe it. Let me just put this down and enjoy myself a little bit. Okay, test drive over. I think I need to turn the, give them a signal. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to turn the idle down some. But she's good and hot now. And whatever she's going to leak nowadays. So let me jump out with my little screwdriver and get that to be better. Now I put my motorcycle in a different place. We're having a major seed change of automobile alignments. There's Bonnie up there. Because I want to get the Healy on the lift. I'm not going to show forward for my own particular reasons. Alright, I don't want to go too far up because the bonnet will see I'm idling too high. And that is not... Let's turn the fan on. That's why we have it. Okay, there's the fan. And disconnect that. Yeah, she's idling too high. The brakes get better and better. I'm gonna go around here in stocking feet. And I guess you can stick with me through this. So when you raise the bonnet on these, they really need room to do that. It doesn't feel unusually hot. I'll take that idle speed any day. Okay, let's see how she, yeah, that's okay. Let's see what that is. That's got to be 1,000, maybe a little less. Oh! That is about 800, okay. Alright, let's see how she shuts off. Perfect. Oh, I didn't know there was a I've forgotten I did that. I guess it has a secondary cooling apparatus on it. That's okay. I don't mind it running after the bell. It doesn't bother me in the least. Well, that did it, gang. Let's do something else. I get bored easy. One of my major concerns about this lift was that the ramps, the runways, are not adjustable. But it has come to pass that the Spitfire fits it fine. That's probably the most narrow gauge vehicle I have, other than the motorcycle. That's pretty narrow gauge. But anyway, just no, all kidding aside, it fits on there perfectly. And I believe that if it being bolted in is part of the overall rigidity and structure of it, so I wouldn't mess with that. And besides, you can't use your stuff. I mean, so I just think they did a great job there. And I've been wondering what this fits. So one day I'll find out. Got a little UV dye on me there, so I'll light up at night. So let's, oh, I gotta do these outlets. I'm gonna take that other wire back. Look how much Romex I had and I didn't even know it. So I'm gonna take those plugs off. That was emergency stuff. I remember doing that. So let's put that in there, and then if I run into, I was thinking of moving the Spitfire, but I don't think I will. Let's move this car and get its alternator right. I might pull the starter off this thing. I'm going to take it up. This starter has always been somewhat intermittent. It doesn't always work well. Boy, I know everything I got's messed. I do a lot in this place, and so it just ends up being messy. So this car doesn't really pull in. If you got one of those little starter things right here, take them off. Little battery cut off, because it don't cut off the battery. If you look at your wiring diagram, you will see that it only cuts off the coil, which is good enough, unless you tell everybody. I guess I just did. Let's see what happens. Ooh, look at all that mess. I don't care how big or small. All creatures, all spiders, great and small, get smashed. Oh, that was, I was thinking of doing that. I don't think I will. Let's just, that didn't. Okay, let's go click, click. Oh, come on. You've been sitting here for weeks, and you just worked? Okay. So these float bowls didn't stick on me. So I'm so glad I don't have to work on absolutely everything I have. So I got a feeling that this overdrive switch, I don't know, I think I'll put that on. I got a feeling that this overdrive switch is just not good. I don't know why, I just kind of feel that way. There's something about the feel of it that's just not making me happy. So let's get to Healy, we're right there. Whoops, I think I might have figured out this operator error. I wasn't going to show this, but it impresses me every time. This car is running. I mean, this is almost as smooth as Studebaker. Nothing's going to beat the Studebaker. Ooh, man, that 6-cylinder I had on that. Listen to this thing. Jaguar sweet. But the Jaguar makes that clacky noise, but I'm over that. Oh, geez. Just gets to me. So there she is. Let's take her up, and she's on the lift pretty good. I think I may turn that wheel and back her off a little bit to that side. Okay, yeah, she's a little crooked on the lift. It's hard to get her on there straight. So let's what do the back wheels look like? Yeah, that's okay. Just cock the wheel. Tell y'all a little secret. If you've got one of these and you put something on the upper fascia right here and you go for a drive, it's going to fall out. I've done that several times. I don't know what gets into me, but it just happens. I know that, and it still happens. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, could be. Yep, this gear shift, this side shift stuff, it's a matter of you got to have a little faith. Yeah, I feel a little better like that. How much have I got there? I know the wheels are in complete contact with the runway. I know that. And now I feel better. It's just kind of part of the day. I would prefer that it was in gear, but brakes are good enough, and let's put the wheel chocks on it. Yeah, see, that's better. Looks like I know what I'm doing. Sometimes it takes a while to prove that. Now, that there, and that there. Okay, let's get my glasses back so I know where they are. My indicators tell me that she's still running lean. This is a 1406 600 CFM carburetor. And I got her sort of riched up a little bit, but my meter's just telling me that she's just running lean. This one I've already fixed. She was fouling up the other day. She's perfect now. I found the problem there. I'm not going to even go into it. It was too simple to even worry about. I'm not used to. Now you got to remember, I got Webers and Edelbrocks and various forms of SU carburetors. These are HS6s, I think, and they have the external choke or mixture control. And this one's a little different because of the way it's set up. It's just a little different carburetor, but not much. These are very different. These are HS8s, I think. Don't really see anything leaking out of her yet. She's been there about 45 minutes or an hour. So what I do is, I got the dye in there, like I said. You can tell by my fingers. I marked the tire. There's a little mark right here, and it says T. And so when I push her back, she will. She'll have. If she's got any drops, she'll show up at night, and then I'll worry about putting her on the lift. Now I'll tell you now. When I moved the Healy, there was a little dollop of oil. You kidding me? You need to watch Bells of St. Mary and listen to Bing Crosby sing Count Your Blessings. I don't know how many years of cars do I have in here, like 300 or 400 years of cars, if you think about it like that. So anyway, she's probably got a little oil stain under her, and I ain't gonna complain. It's just nothing to complain about. And it's always worse than you think it is. Well, let's put these outlets up before the sun gets over there and comes in to hit me. Piece of cake. I'm just going to show you they're up. I'm not going to do anything about showing you how to do it. But you do need to go over to the box over there and turn everything off. Good idea. Even if the switches are off, just make sure you don't want to get hit by anything. So we're right in the middle of the barn. And this was the only power source I had that was on this reel. And like I said, I've just put these outlets in, and as you can tell, I can charge my little lights right here. Focus. I don't want to. You can see it blinking. So let's see. I know that's on because I'm charging with it, but there you go. There you go. It says open neutral. I wonder how that happened. I know that wire don't look great up there, but I'm not planning on sticking my tongue up there. And let's see, that one's good and hot. And don't do what I do. Okay. I've grown up in houses that were, I'm afraid the word is called antebellum. And not only was the plumbing kind of questionable, electricity was more questionable. Pennies behind the screw-in fuses and all that stuff. So anyway, there you go. I can charge up stuff over there. I don't mind running those fluorescent lights every now and then. So save me some steps. And I got to get that back there. And that's my big... I've got to separate my automotive and house stuff. I just haven't done it yet. now that I'm doing so much electrical work on heavy equipment, I'm gonna try to be better about things. I don't know if okay, so that's one project done. Let's pull an alternator out of something. I don't know, that was the whole point of today, but it hasn't happened yet. So I don't know, just happy to have some outlets over there. And I don't want them to be hot all the time. So they're actually, I can turn them off right here. So I turn the lights off, that charger and everything goes off. And then I can go inside and don't have to worry about the battery charger being on. Because I usually, well, I won't tell you what I usually do, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's pull the alternator off Lucy and put her right here and talk things over. Because now, oh, the other thing I did too, you're gonna like this. I fixed up my little table here a little bit, made her a little bit more steady. I got myself a little switched circuit here, so I can run my lewd light. And everybody say hey to Lance. There was Lance. 922-8695, my old phone number. That's where I used to live. You won't find me there now. And so anyway, see, I can just turn that off right here. And this thing is into this circuit. And I turn that off every night too. So there's some plugs I got. And there you go. It's so much better. So now when I need power tools around the cars, you know, the few times that's necessary, because I use air most of the time, I got these outlets up here. So I'm very happy about that. So, you know, I got a philosophy. You guys, first don't drop your flashlights. That's a good philosophy. The other philosophy is, I believe that if you leave a charger plugged in, I don't believe it to be true, but if you leave a, oh, damn spiders. If you leave a charger plugged in without it on, I think that it pulls current out of it. I don't know if that's true or not. So, well, let's see. It's been about 4 or 5 hours since I've done the Jaguar, and let's just see if there's anything under here. Looks like there might be a spot of something there. I don't know. We'll see if there's dye on it tonight. And I put Daphne in, and so nothing is outside now. And behind Lucy are my 2 tractors, so everything is inside now. Let's pull the alternator off that gun. Here is the alternator off of the Spitfire, and my guess that's a 40. I don't know what it is actually. It just says Delco Remy, and then there's your number 1. Oops.
Are you on Medicare? Did you know that some Medicare plans may include $2,500?
Sheesh. All right. So it's R1, F2, and B bat, and this is your this is your earthing area here. So I am going to run 2. I'm going to make a little jumper. Oh, you got to look in here. So you take this little block off. Okay, take that little block off if you want to. And see, if you look down in there, there's this little bar. I don't know why that is. I haven't seen that in other places. So, see that little connector? Right there. So what's the deal with that thing? I don't know. So, my guess is they're not supposed to be connected like that. I've never seen that in a wiring diagram. So, I've just never seen it happen. So I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? It's hard to get these on there. Let's see, it sounds good. This thing's got 500 miles on it maybe. I see no reason in taking this apart, because if you do that and you don't have a new set of brushes, you'll never get those brushes back on there again. And I just don't understand it. But wish I could get down in there a little better. No, I've never seen it connected on anything before. So I'm going to disconnect it. The long and short of this is that it's going to be necessary to rebuild these alternators, not rebuild, but fit different regulators in them if I want to have ignition lights and so forth. And I want that. I've decided that I want that. So I'm going to end this one here. It's gotten kind of long and complicated, so I'm going to try to focus more on, there you go, see a little bit of my stuff here. There's my built-in clock. Isn't that a cool clock? That is a clock with no numbers. So got too long, too complicated, and you can see how it happens because I get off on tangents. In the part 1 of however many parts this is going to be, I don't know. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and share. And remember, whenever I go on a channel and somebody tells me just the least little tiny bit of something good, I subscribe. And so I hope you do that here. So talk to you later. I'll be down in the barn in about 20 minutes starting again. Bye-bye.